let's go ahead and get started discussing how you can enhance your eDiscovery software with Accusoft Prizm Content Connect. Now, Prizm Content Connect, or PCC, provides advanced search, annotation, and redaction capabilities applicable to any type of document review, be it litigation, mergers and acquisitions, internal or external investigations and audits, peer review, or any scenario in which in-browser document research is appropriate. I do want to remind you that while Prizm Content Connect is not a standalone document review platform, it is available to integrate into your review platform of choice. If your document review platform vendor is not providing you with a browser-based document viewing platform that works both on desktop and mobile devices alike, please let them know about Accusoft. So in just a second, we'll take a detailed look at how Prizm Content Connect and its document viewing capabilities can fit into your eDiscovery processes, but let's go ahead and take a quick look at our agenda for today. So we're going to talk about, of course, Prizm Content Connect and how it can help you out with your eDiscovery processes with the capabilities and functionalities and features that it provides, not the least of which are document viewing and search capabilities. Right. Also, we're going to get a little look into annotation and comments that we can do with PCC. We'll also take a look at redaction, some security features like watermarking, and we'll do a basic overview of the Prizm Content Connect viewer in general, and then we'll do a little bit of a Q&A session after that. For those of you who are being introduced to Accusoft and our products and technology for the first time, I'll go ahead and take a moment to fill you in a little bit on a little bit of information about Accusoft, if that's okay. Accusoft.com is our website. Accusoft is a fully employee-owned company, and we are growing, profitable, with no debt, and we are headquartered right here in sunny Tampa, Florida. For nearly 2.5 decades, Accusoft has supplied the most advanced, robust, on-premise web and application development tool sets, enabling developers to easily integrate any format document viewing, unparalleled image compression, barcode functions, and more into their applications, websites, and mobile applications. Now on our website here, if you scroll down a little bit on the home page, you can see what we consider to be the 9 pillars of functionality, things that we provide in terms of our SDKs. Right? So we have functionality for barcode creation and recognition, SDKs for OCR, ICR, image cleanup, forms processing, medical imaging, and scanner control, just to name a few. So specifically, our clients for our viewing technologies do actually include folks like R.R. Donnelley, BIA Protect, Xtero, EMC, Yahoo, Siemens Medical, the U.S. Patent Trademark Office, and many, many more. We actually have over 2,700 active clients. And the product I'm showing you today, Prizm Content Connect, is fully funded by our existing customers, and it's also the result of over 50 man-years of development. I'm going to go ahead and click here to show you where the page for Prizm Content Connect is. What actually is Prizm Content Connect? Well, Prizm Content Connect can be used on any device with a browser which supports HTML5. It's an HTML5 viewer. Right? And that includes any device that has a modern browser on it today. Most browsers today are supporting HTML5. And you can quickly load and display documents in a web browser without needing to have a native reader or client installed on your endpoint computers. So you don't have to have, for example, Microsoft Word in order to read a Word document. You don't have to have an Adobe Reader in order to read a PDF document, for instance, as well. So I have a simple program here that I can show you to show how quickly documents load and how responsive PCC is. There's something that's actually installed when you download and install a trial for PCC. It's a sample viewer. I have a document here that I'm going to bring up and go through for a little bit here. And just to show you how quickly that document loads, there it is. Already done. There's a few things that are really great about this. For instance, PCC is built with a very responsive and customizable user interface. that adapts to the viewport size of any device or element in which it is embedded. Because of this, documents can be viewed with the same high fidelity quality regardless of the type of device, whether it be a desktop computer, a tablet, or a smartphone. And just to give you an example of the responsiveness of this, I'm going to take this in my web browser window. You can see here the menu across the top, the horizontal menu. As I shrink down my web browser window here, that menu becomes a vertical menu, right? And everything is still accessible from here as well. Now, a couple other things I want to go ahead and show you as well here. First off, I have easy access. Once I have the document open to, for instance, my page navigation tools, right? I also have access to sizing tools here. I can minimize this. The plus and minus sign or keys on my keyboard actually work for this. I can cause it to fit the window again. I also have thumbnails that open up very easily too, and we can navigate from one page to another very easily with the thumbnails here. In addition, I'm able to print and download different documents and things that I'm viewing here. And again, this is a very, very customizable viewer here. So if you want to, you could actually build an application that has this viewer embedded in it, or a web page that has this in it. It does not have the print or download buttons or any of the page navigation. You can change those up, exclude them if you like. You can change up the menus for anything that you need to have. Basic viewing pieces include a flying magnifying glass, the ability to zoom in on a section here. And you'll notice how crisp and clear that is. We're actually just rendering this in the browser in a vector graphic format, SVG. So it's still the same cleanliness as you would looking at the original document, right? I can rotate pages. I can rotate the entire document here as well if I like. Now, how does this help me out with regard to eDiscovery? One of the biggest pieces of eDiscovery is the ability not only to look through documents and open them up quickly, but also to be able to search through documents, right? So, and you might be searching for information that you need or for undesirable content, either way. We have advanced search capabilities built directly into the interface, and I'll show you how PCC's range of search options from simple keyword to advanced phrase searching actually works. Now, if I go ahead and click on the search button here and type in a word, I'm just going to choose the word Enron. We can see that the search results are returned immediately, along with, over on the left-hand side, a thumbnail view of the page numbers and the results themselves. And I can actually click between these anytime I like. I'm going to scroll down here to find a different page just to show you that. Here's page 3, page 4, page 5. As you can see, also the searched term is also highlighted throughout the document. So it's very easy to see where those highlighted, searched for terms are located. Right. I also want to show you that I'm not just searching within the text of the document. If I click on the filter icon here, we can see, or I can show you that I can search through the text in the document if I have anything else on the document, any kind of markups whatsoever, right? Or any redactions. I can check through the comments that might exist, any kinds of annotations or redaction reasons, or even if I put a signature on the document itself, I can search through those as well. Now, I want to go ahead and add in a second word here, just for fun. I'm going to add in the word scandal. Now, we're searching for both words here. Now, initially, my search results yielded 108 results. Now we've got 8 more, so we've got 116 results found. And as you can see, that second word is highlighted with a different color so that we can see that easily, right? So it's actually doing 2 searches here for us. We can actually do a few other things with our searches here as well. We have the ability to use wildcards. We can try to look for a word by the beginning of it or the end of the word. We can look for a whole word. We can actually do case matching. Let me show you that real quick because this is kind of fun. Look at that. When I redid my search, that narrowed the number of results dramatically down to 9. There's only 9 places in this document where my case is matched. In fact, in almost every but one instance of the word Enron that's capitalized. right? What if I do something different? What if I want to match the entire phrase, right? So 116, let's go ahead and match the phrase itself. Wow, I've only got 3 specific matches. So let's say that I have an assignment in an eDiscovery process here, and my assignment is to find any instance where the word scandal is preceded by the word Enron. So I've done that search and I've found that. And now I want to make sure that these instances are actually redacted from the document. There's a couple neat things here I want to show you. Of course, I can do that manually, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But I have a quick actions button here too. And again, because this is customizable, right, and you can take a look at and work with the API, you can actually have these quick actions piece include other types of actions. But the neat one here that we have is just to redact anything that I found in my search. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Click that, and you can see here the redactions were completed. Now, in addition, we can also code in some other things with regard to search parameters, right? So if I wanted to look for different other pieces of information, I can plug that in so that we're looking for these information. I bring that up because I want to mention that if I wanted to go ahead and look for Enron scandal without typing it into a search, I can have that done on the backside there, right? So that it's automatically finding and highlighting Enron scandal for me as I'm opening up the document, okay? I want to go ahead and move into redactions since we've done a little bit of that already. Let me minimize this and move over to the redaction screen. Now, we have a bunch of different ways that we can handle redaction here, a bunch of different little tools here. PCC's redaction capability allows you the ability to easily remove sensitive data from documents. And this actually doesn't just cover it up, it actually removes the data from the document, right? And you can select text or define a region of a document to be permanent redacted, and you can even actually redact an entire page if you like, right? So we have a few things that we can use. We have a filled rectangle redactor, and if I click this twice, that actually makes it a sticky tool. All of our tools are like that, so that's pretty neat. I'm going to go ahead and redact a couple more instances here manually, right? And I'm just going to pick a couple random words just for fun, okay? All right. Now you can see a little menu, a little context menu is popping up as I'm doing that. So I can add a comment onto this redaction. I can also add a reason for the redaction. I can come up with my own reason for the redaction, or I can simply say, well, I redacted, right? I can actually save these redactions too. After I do a couple others, I'm going to do a little stamp here. I'm going to say this stamp was actually, this document was actually reviewed. I'm going to add a quick signature on that just for fun too, right? And we can plug in signatures that are handwritten or appear to be handwritten. And I'll show you that right now here. If we click on this, that gives me a way to type in, you know, if I spell my name correctly, looks like I did. And I can use one of those signatures. I have a couple in here that were saved, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I can actually, if I want to, add in a date stamp here as well. So after I've done that, I'd like to go ahead and just save these, right? And that's really very easy to do. And we can save that here. I can give that a name, right? And I've saved my redactions, right? So I can also download a copy of this document with those redactions plugged in, right? So if I click on download here, it's going to ask me if I want to download the original document as is, or if I want to include the redactions and any signatures I may have added. And as you can see, that changed that format to a PDF, right? So that's what we're going to download, actually, is a PDF with the redactions and signatures and whatnot burned in. And it's going to ask me if I'd like to save that. And I actually am going to go ahead and save this to a folder here, because I want to show you something here real quick. We have the ability to throw events and collect those events with PCC. So if you have a workflow process or a workflow piece that is collecting events so that you can let one user know, hey, listen, user A has finished with his responsibility in this document. Now you, user B, can continue and do your next piece. Well, let's say for the sake of argument, my next piece here in this case was to check to see that that phrase, Enron scandal, was actually redacted from the document. As you can see here, I've changed, or I have my PDF here that has the redacted and signed version here. So I'm going to load that up in there. All right, that takes a second. We can see the redactions, right? And they definitely can't move them. I want to do a search real quick and see if we find that. Enron scandal. Let's match the entire phrase, do the search, and look at that, 0 hits. And that's because, again, that information is completely removed from the document. With regards to redactions as well, before I saved these, I could have taken a look at those if I wanted to. And I'll just go ahead and show you that real quick and show you what that means. I'll just go ahead and redact something else here real fast to show you that if I click on the little eyeball here, the eye-shaped icon, I can actually see the redactions that I've got. I've got them covered, and I slightly uncover them now with that, so I can see what I intend to redact later. Isn't that neat? This helps me out moving into something else. I want to show you something on our website. We have some demos here. I'm going to move into a piece for redactions here because I want to show you something. We can actually not only discover or do a search automatically as the document's being loaded for different PII information if you want, for an example, but I can also redact those. I'm going to show you this here real quick. This document here has some information on it. We've got an email address, a phone number, and we've got a W-9 here with a social security number down here. I want to go ahead and redact those, right? I'm going to take a date as well. Right, and I'm going to apply the redaction. Now, let's say an end user opens up this document for the first time. I'm going to go ahead and go full screen here so that this is what that user is seeing, right? For the first time, never seen this document before, and lo and behold, important information does not exist. I can't see it. All right, so that's pretty cool, isn't it? A couple other things I want to show you here real quick as well. Let's go ahead and move into annotation, right? And we have some demos for that as well. Here's one. And I like to use this one because it displays something I think that's pretty critical. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take up the full screen here. Not only are we able to do our own annotations, and I'm going to show you a couple of these in a minute, but as you can see, some annotations have already been done in this document, right? And I want to show you these because we can provide what we call annotation layering. Right? So if you're not the first person in a workflow, or maybe you are, maybe there's other people behind you, or maybe the last person, we can actually see the annotations and comments and whatnot that are made by other users in that workflow. Right? In this particular instance, I am this HR manager person. Right? I've got a couple other people that are looking at this document. They're not doing it right now, but they have been. They've had some influence on this document. Right? And what they've done is they've added some annotations and some comments. Well, I can actually hide those if I wish, right? So I don't see those anymore. And I did that by layer. So each person had their own layer, right? And added their own annotation and a comment to go with that annotation. A comment here is associated with that annotation. I can actually work with these. I can interact with the comments that exist here. I don't know what that statement was. I'm just going to say okay, right? So if I want to add my own additional comments onto these, additionally, I can actually save these annotations from these other layers to my own layer, right? Before I do that, I want to go ahead and add a couple more annotations. I can throw in an arrow here, right? I can do a hand-drawn piece, a hand-drawn circle. We can do ellipses and squares. See, this ellipse is shaded. I can actually change how translucent that piece is, right? That's pretty neat. And we also have some stamps here. I'm going to go ahead and plug in this approved stamp right there, right? And like I said, I can go ahead and just save these to my annotations, and now this whole layer is saved into my layer, right? So that's pretty neat stuff. I want to go over that e-signature piece one more time as well. That's the ability for us to add a signature, right? And as I mentioned, we can add in some signatures here. I can actually hand draw a signature here if I like and add that in. any place I like. Pretty messy, but it works, right? And date stamps, and we can add in some text stuff as well. So pretty neat stuff with the signatures there. And again, we can actually download a copy of this document with those added in. Now, if I wanted to print this document, for instance, too, I could do so, and I can do so. I can print those with the annotations included and the redactions and whatnot. And if I have any comments, I can decide where I'd like to see those comments, etc. Right? And I can just go ahead and print this. Now, if any of you are worried about or concerned about security, there is a way that we can handle security concerns for you on that. And we can apply watermarks, actually, on the document itself. Right, so in addition to being able to remove the print and download buttons, if you like, through the API so that people can't print and download documents, that doesn't really stop them from taking a screenshot of the document, right? So a couple of security features. One of them includes the ability to watermark this document, and that watermarking occurs as the document is being streamed down to the browser. And I can do it in several ways. I can add some persistent tagging type watermarks that have like a date stamp and things like the IP address stamped on here, or I can add in some text or diagonal text or even an image. All right, I want to go ahead and add an image here. I'm going to change the opacity so you can actually see the document. But as you can see here, again, applied as it's being streamed down to the browser, and it's being applied to every single page in the document itself. All right, so that really helps. Now, with regard to integration, and that's the biggest piece. These features are really neat, but what about plugging them into your own, eDiscovery platform, or even if you want, just your own website? So we can take a look here at some code examples that show you how customizable PCC really can be. If we want to, we can store your annotations in a database, and there's a couple samples on GitHub that show you how we can do that. A couple real neat things in here. One of them is I can actually do some automatic annotation, or some annotation that includes just a couple of buttons. If you see this, right here, you can see the page.js, the template that determines how the page will look. But what's really cool here is the only thing that's on this document here in this viewer, as you can see, no print or download button, are an approve and a reject button. So I can go through and approve or reject different pages, and as you can see, if I scroll back up, those stamps are applied on here. A couple of other neat things here. Right? We can do some custom controls if we like. In this example, again, you can see the style sheets, right? You can see the HTML, you can see the JavaScript that shows that, and you can modify those as you like to play with it a little bit. But as you can see here, what we did is we took the standard buttons and got rid of them and put in some big, poofy, gigantic buttons, right? That's pretty neat looking. So as you can see, extremely flexible and very, very customizable, right? We can also subscribe to events. So again, as different things are occurring in your eDiscovery and eReview processes, as people are looking through documents as one thing is happening, etc. And I'm going to show you this here real quick. I'm going to just go and throw a stamp on here, and you can see down in the bottom, down in this area here, every time I do something, I'm going to put a stamp, and boom, those are the events that are being thrown by this. And you can collect those events and act upon them anytime you like, right? Now, if you like what you see here, we do invite you to download a free trial anytime, and you can do that right here from the website. All you have to do is click on the Try It button here. Just fill in this little form here, give us a little bit of information, email address, etc. And you can download it and install and start to utilize it. As I mentioned earlier, this samples piece comes built in with it. So you can check to verify that Prizm Content Connect is working the way that you think it should, or the way that we advertise anyway, and you can take a look and see how those things are working for you, right? So I want to go ahead and say thanks again for joining us and coming along with us. There's a couple people you can reach out to, myself included. Also Dan Maddox, our Senior Business Development Manager. If you have any additional questions, we're going to move into a Q&A session in just a minute here. But again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to either one of the email addresses on the screen or to info@accusoft.com.